Gemini, hello. This is going to be the shift reading for the summer season 2022, or whenever you happen to find this reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. I'm Amanda. I'm your reader today. Let's get into it. All right, Gemini, as I've been shuffling the cards, I sort of feel this interesting dual experience, which is of course very Gemini in its energy. On one hand, it's like things are better, you know, like certain things are going really well and have picked up pace and are like working together seamlessly. And then other things, you know, then there's this other level of experience where, yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but then it's like, you know, some things are really great, some things maybe aren't. So interesting place to start from. Let's take a look at your shift. Shape shift for Gemini this season. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is pretty cut and dry. The shape you're shifting out of seems to be the Five of Swords, which is a lot of kind of chaos. Didn't you get this card in your spring reading last season? There was a lot of just like fighting energy, honestly. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of, I don't know, like relational disagreement, conflict, maybe even bickering energy. And then you're shifting into the Four of Wands, which is a much more peaceful, celebratory structure. And it is showing a lot of like togetherness and enjoyment with others. A lot more freedom and flow. And the experience of that shapeshift is through the Ten of Wands and the Six of Swords. It's like there is something that you need to put down in order to move on. So let's look at this a little bit. The Five of Swords and the Ten of Wands are really, actually, all three of these are talking to each other, because the five moves to the six. This is a linear progression in the tarot from, you know, moving on from this chaotic experience. Just like maybe a lot of intensity in your thoughts, a lot of, again, like confusion and back and forth, and trying to get in there and help the situation and somehow making it worse. You know, it's like, it's a very, it is a Gemini energy, both of these. And in order to get to that point where you're moving on from this kind of conflict, and specifically maybe relational conflict, maybe we're continuing some of the energy from the previous reading, but whatever this Five of Swords, disagreement, agitated and irritated energy is, in order to move on from that, there is a load that needs to be put down. And you'll notice all of these like swords and wands. They're all pretty much representing the same energy, it seems. They're sharp, they're heavy. There's actually like a lot of energy here of just like being frustrated and irritated with all of the things. Like there's maybe multiple parts of your life, relational, career, global events, news cycles, that are frustrating, and they feel like attacks, and they're I mean, there's war in Ukraine. There are literal attacks, you know, like they're are all of these sharp and heavy things happening. And Gemini, this sort of like hands trying to intervene almost feels like your mental juggling act around all of those sharps in your life. And the Ten of Wands is sort of like, okay, holding all of that specifically right at your headspace. Dear Mercurial human, fellow Mercurial human, like it's like you're holding all of the weight in your head. You're taking on the mental burden of it all, or the thought labor. Thought, mentally processing, needing to figure it all out. I've never thought of that phrase before, thought labor. But that's how this combination is coming through to me. Like there's just so much mental labor going on here. Again, you're holding the weight of it all right in your headspace, and it's like preventing you from actually seeing where you're going. Like look at the Ten of Wands, how this person can't see in front of them because they're carrying this heavy load right in front of their face. And if you were to lighten your load in some way, you'd be able to move on a little faster, because we see this boat, the Six of Swords, does talk about moving on, maybe moving on a little reluctantly realizing, you know what, I'm doing all of these mental gymnastics and mental work around this, and it's becoming such a burden in my brain. I don't want to move on from this, right? I'm reluctant to do it, but I'm going to, because it's actually too much. Like it's slowing the progress, because I'm looking at how heavy all of these swords are in this boat and all of the turmoil that is bringing to your experience seems to be slowing you down from an experience that could be available to you that's much more like this. Because I mean, in this reading, like the shape you're shifting into is completely different from everything I've described so far. Dancing and celebration and joy and freedom and togetherness and lightness and harmony and celebrating, you know, it's like, it's flowers, it's hilltops, it's rolling hills and beautiful wide open spaces. Like it's completely different. Interesting mental space. Clearing the mental space will allow you to be in joy and be together with the people that you love. Wasn't that a little bit from last season's reading for you? A little bit of a similar theme. And so I'm wondering if like it's almost like, hey, Gemini, it's summer. You know, like it's true. There's a lot of heaviness going on and a lot of like maybe various frustrating things that you are navigating. And also it's summer going on. Oh, maybe that's the duality I was feeling in the beginning. Like some things are like really joyful invitations and they're going really well and they're feeling like so much better, and other things are just really not. And so I'm wondering if there's still some vestiges here of mental load that you could put down so that you can be fully present in these kinds of experiences that are available to you. I don't know. I think we need to investigate further. Dear Gemini, I've got other decks here, and I'd like to get into it now with some clarification. So if you'd like to join me for that, the link is in the description box below to join us in the shifting space, where you'll have access to this full reading and really just get to move through this shape shift you're experiencing with other people throughout the summer season and beyond. So I hope you join us over there as we shift together in the shifting space.